Flippin' Fantastic Podcast episode. Are we on 4 now or 5? I forgot.
I don't know.
I think we're on number 5. Yep, we're on number
I think it's
5.
5. It's
Yep,
5. I'm
yep.
trying to see. It doesn't show on here, but I wrote 5.
Okay. So episode number 5. We were going to talk about, I don't know, recent changes as a reseller. Things to look out for, stay in the know about because, things are always changing on eBay
Yeah.
if that's where you mainly sell. Um, the first one we had talked about, you had brought it up, was the USPS changes, which I didn't even know about until
Yeah.
you sent me that
Oh,
link.
it's not definite, but it they're talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
They want to do it. And they want to merge first class package priority, no, sorry. First class package parcel select and
Mm-hmm.
parcel select cubic into one. So there wouldn't be any first class package service anymore. It would just fall under
It'd just be like the cheap option.
yeah.
Yep.
And um the thing with, so I guess anything over, what is it, like 2 ounces or something.
Mm-hmm. It says the three products being merged are
Yeah.
first class package. All right, wait. Oh, wait. Sorry,
Yeah.
no. I'm reading the wrong. I'm reading the part you just talked about.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't think it'll have a. It doesn't mention it says for parcels weighing up to 70 pounds.
Yeah. So it's, I'm assuming because like 2 ounces usually up to the letter ounce, and then 4 is, I don't know. I'm just guessing. But
Mm-hmm.
um, that now, that raises the question, are they going to, will we start getting a discount on this? Like, will eBay work something in there? Because right now, right before like Christmas, quarter 4, I changed all my stuff to, because priority's so expensive. I'm on the East
Mm-hmm.
Coast. I changed everything, most everything, to parcel select. I haven't had any problem with it. My stuff gets there almost just as fast as priority. Maybe, maybe a day or two, but and in that, the article, we'll put the article down below. In
Mm-hmm.
the article, it I think it says 2 to 5 days, if I'm correct.
Um.
About, like, that would be the,
Mm-hmm.
isn't that what it said? Did I
Says the
see that
product is
somewhere?
aimed at shippers willing to sacrifice speed for price. Is also intended for users of the Postal Service's pri- the Postal Service's priority mail service who need 2 to 3 day transit times but don't want to pay priority mail's pound based
Yeah,
prices.
yeah.
So,
I think when you put in parcel select ground, it says like 2 to 7 days, but
hmm
I don't think, again, knock on wood, none of my stuff since the fall has gotten there in less than like 3 days, I think,
yeah, it's pretty
or
quick for
in
me as
more
well.
than 3 days. Yeah. So
Hmm.
it is a cheaper option. They pay exact shipping and you don't get a discount. So you're still getting charged fees for it, which kind of sucks. Um, and you don't have the cushion built in if you mess up shipping. If you're like a pound off, you're like, oh, it's two, you measured it, you think it's going to go 2 pounds, but then when you wrap it all up and it all comes down to it, it's like, it's 2 pounds, 5 ounces, So now it's got to go 3. So you don't have that cushion.
hmm
The good thing about it is it doesn't go up very much pound to pound. It's a matter of like 10 cents or something, usually somewhere in there. But I mean, that I've seen. But but yeah, you don't have the cushion in there. You don't have,
hmm
with priority, people use that as, that difference between what the seller pays and what we pay for shipping supplies, for in case you mess up, and for fees. So you don't get that. But it is cheaper. And I think I sold, again, because I'm on the East Coast, I think I sold more because my shipping was the cheapest. And I don't price my, unless there's something wrong with my stuff. I
Mhm.
tend to put my stuff at the top or the top, I price it up higher and take offers. Excuse me.
Mhm.
So, eh, I was thinking about going back to priority because the Christmas, the holiday increase was over, but I don't know. I don't know.
I wonder when they would be putting this into effect if they decide to do that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Um, but it's interesting. I mean,
hmm I mean, I get it for them. It just, it puts everything in one.
I guess it makes it like you get a little
It's
bit less
easier.
shipping options because, like, of course, when you have something, you have
Yeah.
like, say it's light enough, you have the
hmm
option of first class or ground or
hmm
cubic. So, I mean, it kind of eliminates the decision making, but
Right. And I don't sell, and I don't think you do either, but the card sellers that use
Mhm.
whatever that,
Oh, the envelope.
yeah, do you
Oh,
just put a stamp on it? I don't know
I
how that
I don't
works.
know.
So I don't
I've
know how
never
that'll
done
affect them.
that. Yeah, just because like me personally, like I have things I could send in an envelope with a stamp, but just because there's no tracking,
Yeah, I don't do
I
it either.
don't like
I mean,
that.
I've had stuff, I don't do that. I've gotten stuff from eBay where I'm like, is this going to come? And they're like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's in a stamp. I'm like, okay. Um, and then I find it in the pile of mail, in an envelope in the pile of mail. I'm like, I
Yeah.
wasn't realize. I don't like to do that just because there is no tracking.
Yeah, and you just never
But
know.
I don't know how this will affect the card sellers. You know, I don't know how that
What
all
is that
works, but
called? What is eBay?
yeah, I mean, I've read about it and heard it, but I don't know what it is.
What is that called?
Because I've mailed postcards and stuff, but I put them in the thicker, little rigid envelope, and
Mhm. I've heard people talk about this. The standard envelope. That's what it's called. eBay standard
okay,
envelope. Yeah, I've never.
I don't know either.
Actually,
There's
I'm
some
curious.
kind of
How
tracking,
is it
right?
done? It's more secure than shipping with a stamp.
Yeah, so it's not a stamp. Is
So
it
it's
first
not.
class? I don't
Save up
understand.
to 70% versus first class. How it works. List your item, ship your item, get your label from eBay labels and attach it to your envelope. So it is a label.
Yeah,
And then it looks like it has tracking. So it's just, I don't know, a little bit better than a stamp just because it's tracked.
I don't know.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I don't
One
know.
ounce is
I mean,
60
this.
cents, 2 ounces, 84 cents, 3 ounces is $1.08
Okay.
to ship. So, but you have very specific dimension requirements for that.
Right, right.
No smaller than 3.5 inches by 5 inches, no larger than 6.125 inches, and 11.5 inches. Thickness is uniform, weighs up to 3 ounces.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's maybe
there's a lot.
that might stay the same then. Because
Yeah,
I'm guessing that this is like a 4 ounce and up. I don't know. That's my
yeah,
guess.
might
But what do
be
I know?
not
I
as
don't know.
cost effective. Yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see if they
But
decide
we'll
to
see.
do
And
that.
I hope if they do it that they eBay works. You know, I always wish that eBay would work a little bit better deal on some shipping than. I mean, you get a good discount, but I don't know. Sometimes, like, I haven't sold anything on Posh in a long time, but that was so easy.
Yeah. Um, and then the other thing, I didn't know if you had anything else to add about this post service merge of three different shipping methods.
Yeah, no.
Um, The other thing I had was about I had heard Shed Flips, Lonnie and Candace talk about this. Um, Something about in Ohio, they had talked about something about if you decide to do an auction, you need an auctioneer's license. So now
Yeah.
people in Ohio are wondering if they do auctions on eBay, if they need to get the auctioneer's license. And
Yeah.
some are under the impression that since eBay facilitates the auction, that eBay needs to get this license. Of course, I'm not worried because I never do auctions on eBay. I do buy it now only.
Yeah.
But, if this ever gets bigger, it is a little concerning for some of us that do auction type stuff. Um,
I'm looking. I'm
I've
pretty sure there's a lot of states that already, like, if you do an auction, you have to have an auctioneer license.
mhm,
Um, I think my state is one of them. So there's a there's a vintage community thing where people do sales on um, YouTube. I think it kind of
mhm.
started during COVID.
Kinda like Whatnot style, just on YouTube
Yes.
instead.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So, and it's not just vintage. There's also people that do um like bulk sales. Have you heard Mr. Buys a Lot?
Mm-mm.
He's one of them. He he buys a lot and then he sells stuff on bulk on eBay. So people source from
Mhm,
him. There's a few other sellers, Donatello Bottolino and T at Auctions for You. They sell lots of stuff, because they buy warehouses and lockers and buy out stores, stuff like that.
mhm.
And so again, I mean, I found this stuff during COVID when I started reselling. Some of them it depends on where you live. So if they live in a state that you don't need an auction license, they'll call it an auction, and people just bid in the comments, like whatnot, but just bid in the comments.
Mhm.
But in states where you can't, they call it an offer up, and you do the exact same thing.
Oh. Just
But
calling it
they
something
don't
else.
they don't call it an auction. I think my state is one of the states that you need an auction.
I
Um,
did not know that.
Yeah, so that's how they get around it. Now, I don't know what the big deal about Ohio is, um if they have something in the law that says something about. I mean, I watched Netflix too. I didn't read about it. Um
Mhm.
Past some preliminary, just looking at stuff. I
I
don't
think the
know
video
if
they released talking about it, it was called, like, "We found out about this eBay change from our comment section."
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I
it's
didn't
called "Found out
Yes.
about this eBay change on our YouTube" or in our YouTube
Yes.
comments.
So it must be big news in Ohio, maybe because it's a change in Ohio and people are speculating that it's going to go to YouTube, but I mean, there's other places that need um oh, never mind. My state doesn't require an auction license. I thought it did. But so maybe people are speculating that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. This article came out on February 7th. It just says on Monday, a seller reported on the eBay discussion boards that the Ohio Department of Agriculture had shut down a colleague for running an unlicensed auction on Hybid and was told it would also apply to sales on eBay.
Oh,
Uh,
see now, high bid.
mm-hmm.
Interesting.
But
I
then
mean,
that would also
mostly
apply to like Whatnot or
I mean, I
other
I
places
mostly
do
see
auctions. I
auction
mean,
house, like, locally for me. It's mostly auction houses on high bid.
mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I don't know. I'd hope that they'd maybe make an exemption or something for eBay. I don't
So I
know.
guess
I
that's
don't know
fine.
how that all
I
works.
mean, it's going to apply to whatnot. There's some other apps that do the same thing. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. I don't know. Hmm. Interesting. I would think you would have, like, eBay would have to take care of that. Like, they're the middleman. Like we pay
Yeah,
them to
it
deal
would
with that.
affect them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, you
And I
know,
almost wonder, like, say you're in Ohio and you want to do a whatnot, could you just go to another state over, do the whatnot, and then come back? I mean, like,
yeah, I
I
don't
mean,
know. I don't know.
or does it have something to do with your ship from address? Or I have,
I can't
anyways,
believe they went
that's all I
after
had for that.
somebody on high bid. That's so weird.
Mhm.
There's a site
Um.
that I use called Max Sold. It's kind of like a high bid. You either do, I think I talked about it before. You either do, like if you were selling stuff, like mostly it's people like getting rid of, like, like a loved one's house, emptying it or whatever, that I've seen. So you can do it yourself and use the software. You know what I mean? You
Mhm.
use Max Bid. So I guess, you pay fees to them, but people bid online and everything and they come pick it up. Or you can have Max Bid will hire people locally to run it, do it for you. So they'll take all the picture, do it all. I would assume like that in that case, then you have Max Bid do it instead of yourself, But
That almost makes me wonder if,
high bid's like
like,
high bid's like you use high bid,
yeah,
you know, and do everything yourself. Like
it's
high
just
bid
the
doesn't
platform.
manage.
Yeah.
Right.
And that also makes me wonder for things like here we have a local dollar auction on Facebook where you
Oh yeah,
just,
yeah.
if does that make it that you can't do that in Ohio anymore? Like you can't just put an item up
Right.
on this dollar auction on Facebook and,
Now that I
it's
know you don't have that, I want to do that and I want to do that here.
you could start one.
I want to see yours and then I'm seeing
Actually,
like I want to
speaking
do.
of to kind of go off topic, I
Yeah.
got a really good buy from the dollar auction. I
What you
found
get?
this cologne.
Yeah, what
It
is it?
is a Tribute for Men cologne by Mary Kay. I saw comps around 90 to 100. I got it for $2 on the dollar
Is it
auction.
is it new?
No. Oh, I don't know. There's a little bit gone at the top.
Because didn't I hear you can't sell used anymore?
Thing is, I've sold used before,
Yeah, I
but
know.
if for
I have
some reason it
two.
doesn't work out, I could put it on Mercari. Because
Right, yeah,
Mercari,
that's true. Yeah, just
um,
slap it up there. But I heard
yep.
some other thing I heard that you can't, like, you used to be able to sell the old used perfume because
Mhm.
people like collect and they'll want like the vintage bottle or or they don't want anymore or whatever. And
The thing is, you could still put it up, but it has to be under. Well, the things I put
I
up,
thought
I
they
have to
I
put it under new. Like they don't have a pre-owned. But I'm looking
okay.
here and I see stuff that's like,
Yeah.
see this right here, Bath and Body Works, glimmering gold body splash, 60% full.
Yeah, I've sold that kind of stuff before. Like I find that
Yeah.
stuff. The but I thought I watched something and someone's like, you can't do it anymore. You used to be able to sell it under collectibles or something, and now you can't.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know. I don't know. I don't know. Just
Yeah, I've sold a
that's just
few,
a
but
that's cool though. That's cool.
and actually, I've bought used perfume from eBay
hmm
too. I bought
yeah.
one for myself from, and it was like 2/3 full. And I don't really know. That's kind of a gray area. But I'm looking
Yeah,
here. I just searched
it's
used perfume, and I'm finding stuff that's half
finding
full,
tons of stuff. Yeah. I
barely
don't know. Maybe
full.
it was like one of those like they might do this kind of thing. I don't know.
If not, you can always fall back on Mercari, like in case it gets taken down or whatever. But anyways, I found that men's cologne.
That's cool.
And there's been a couple things on that dollar auction that I've found that's good. I even found some, linesman boots, like, I think if you're, like, an electrician, like,
hmm
going I found a
Grounded
pair of boots
boots. Yeah.
for $1. I sold them for, like, 175. They were
Wow.
new. My mom had, like, tagged me in the post, and I commented no one else got them, so I got it, but yeah,
That's cool.
this cologne has comps from, like, 80 to, like, 120 if you have the box, but I don't have the box, but I
That's
guess we'll
sweet.
see. I'll keep you guys updated how good it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
for
I want to know. I want
today.
to know. Yeah.
Um, and, I don't know if you have anything else to add about the auctions thing. Um,
No, there's a site you can, I mean, you could Google in your state and see what the requirements are. It's mostly what I'm seeing is like like for mine, it's like, check municipalities or local if there's any, but there's like, it tells you if there's no state. You can find out if you have to have a license by the state level.
I think what they were concerned about, Lonnie and Candace had mentioned was like for those that actually want to get their license, they have to go to school for so many hours for it, get
Yeah,
their auctioneering license, then renew it every, I think in Nebraska it's every couple years. I don't know if it's for
yeah,
everywhere, but kind of the same as having any other license. But
right. Mm-hmm.
yeah, it says you have to go to an approved auction school. So if that was to happen, I just probably stop or never do auctions because I don't know if it'd be worth the hassle, but then it would like dwindle down how many people on eBay are actually doing auctions if they were to enforce that. But
I
like I
don't
said, I
I
don't know
don't
if
really
eBay
get
would
it.
actually want that to happen because, that's a lot of their monies,
Yeah,
all their fees they get from all that.
right. I don't come across a lot of things that I would put up at auction. And I see people
Yeah.
use auctions all the time, and I'm like, why'd you do auction? You sold that for like $5 and you could have got like 30. I'm like, why?
Mhm.
I don't know.
And then the other thing that I also had heard from Shed Flip's video that they also found out about was now in the eBay seller update, they have changed it now where you can do scheduled listings instead. It used to be 10 cents. Now you can do it for free. So you can make drafts, schedule them to go live at certain times of the day, certain
Right.
days, whatever, and it's free now.
Hmm.
But then on the other side, they also they did up the final value fees a little bit. So if you have a free store, it's 12.9%. Oh wait, it went from 12.9 on most things. Well, it looks like it goes up. The first two things I see are 12.9 to 13.25. But if you have a store, it went up from 12% to 12.35.
Yeah.
So if you sell enough, I mean, it is worth the store. Just on the final value fees, just on whatever the
Yeah,
value
and
is
not
for the
and not
seller.
a starter store, at least a basic store.
Yep. Basic's the
Because
cheapest,
starter, it
right? I
doesn't.
think that's
Yeah,
what I
it.
have.
Um,
It's the $5 a month one.
I think. Yeah, but do some of these? Do they apply to that?
Okay, one section says final value fees for seller without a store subscription or a starter store subscription. Okay, I think I have the starter. And then there's
Yeah.
final value fees for
Right.
sellers with a basic or above.
Right.
So, yeah, I am getting
Starters.
charged that.
Starters. The first. Basics is next
Well,
up.
shoot,
Yeah.
maybe I should upgrade because I think the next one up is also when you
Yeah.
get the quarterly
Yeah. That's what I have.
month
You get the quarterly. You get.
get therapy too, right?
Yes. Hmm.
Yep.
And you get a little bit. Well, maybe that's because I have 1 day shipping now. I get a little bit. My fees are a little bit lower sometimes because of
Mhm.
that in some categories. I don't know.
Well, shoot, I should check into the store subscriptions now because
Yeah.
now that I see those changes in front of me, like on a little graph, I can like kind of tell like, oh, maybe I should.
Yeah, because you sell a lot, and that 0.35 is probably, you know, going to add up after a while.
Speaking of selling a lot, my store has been dead for the past like 3 days.
Mine has too. I think everybody is. Whenever they put this stuff in, you're dead for a couple days. I swear.
See, this
Whenever
is the
there's
first time
any
I've actually
changes.
noticed it. Usually people are, saying on Facebook, "Oh, my store, blah 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 blah," like
Hmm.
complaining, and I'm like, whatever. It happens. But
Right.
I'm noticing like I went to selling like 5 to 7 items a day to now like one item for the past 3 days,
Yeah,
like
I've
1 item
only
a day, and
sold.
I'm
I've
like, oh,
one. Hmm. Yeah, I
so
sold one like late last night. So today, and I don't think I've had anything else. I haven't listed anything yet today, but
mm-hmm.
yeah, it is. I noticed it the last time too. Whenever they did changes, I had like a day or two of like, and then it went back up. It was all right after that.
Oh, speaking
But
of changes, I know people have talked about this, but your 90-day total on the app, I don't know if it's
oh yeah,
also the computer, but the app shot back up.
yeah,
So,
because
like, for some
they were
people, it was like
different.
3 to 5,000.
I think they match now. Yeah, mine was a significant amount. I was wondering about that because it was weird because I always look at it on the app and I hardly ever look at it on the computer
Mhm.
until somebody brought it up in like Discord that the two didn't match. And I was always thinking, man, especially this year, fourth quarter, I was like, I swear I sold way more than last year. Why is my 90-day total less?
Mhm.
It was less than last year. And then all of a sudden now it's shot. I was like, well, that makes sense. That's why.
I remember specifically last time it had happened because my 90-day total had dropped, like, I think it's like 5,000 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, I didn't think anything of it because I'm like, well, I'm still making, so much, whatever. I had like the
Right.
spreadsheets. I'm like, I'm still
Mm-hmm.
fine, but I just kind of didn't really pay attention. I just knew that, oh, it used to be at this number, but now it's at this number. And then that number
Right.
became the norm, and now it shot back up. I'm like, oh, okay, so
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So it made sense. I also now are you having the problem that I had where it's showing you have to ship some things and but it's not really there? Did you
it
say
fixed
you were
itself
having that?
already. Last night it was doing that, but then this morning I
Yeah.
got up and I packed up 2 orders that needed to go out, and
Yeah.
yeah, now it said there was orders to ship. It
Sometime
was
earlier
weird.
yeah, sometime earlier this week mine finally fixed. It was always telling me I had two orders regardless. So if I had nothing if everything was shipped, it said I had two pending. If everything and it was both on the computer and the my app. They
Oh, yeah, because you had a couple that were just stuck that looked like you had to ship something, but you
Yeah,
didn't?
but when you went in there, not there was nothing. So then, like, if I sold like five things, it would say seven. You know,
Hmm.
but it finally fixed itself earlier this week because it was really driving me crazy at first, and then I got used to it, and then and then one day I looked and I was like, oh, it's gone. Thank you, finally.
Yeah, I don't know. It happened it just was showing up that I had nothing to ship out when I did have 2 orders to ship out last night.
Yeah,
So, I don't know what's going on. I just kinda
uh,
left it, but if I went into the awaiting shipment section, they were in there. It just wasn't showing up, like, on the dashboard of on my computer. Like,
okay,
where
yeah,
you have, like, items awaiting shipment and then,
mm-hmm.
respond to offers, whatever. So, those
Yeah,
just weren't popping up for some reason.
mm-hmm.
Now I'm looking at
Yeah,
the comparison for the stores, and I mean,
oh
for the
yeah,
amount of fees I'd be saving on, I have to, like,
yeah.
calculate it, like, how
I
much in sales I'm making that 12% or whatever would be making up for
I
what I'm
think I
paying for the
did.
store.
Yeah, I think I did the basic store or no, starter store for like a minute, and I was like, I'll just go to the. I swear, too, at the beginning of the month when uh, or whenever your store fees are due, I swear I
Mhm.
make a lot of sales. They want to make
Really?
sure you have the money. They must put, excuse me, they must put your stuff out there
Hmm.
because yeah, I get a lot. I get a lot of sales at the
Shoot,
beginning of
maybe
the
I'll
month when
just
it's
switch over
due.
to that. I mean, especially with how things have been going and with sales and all that. Okay, well, I have to look into that. Um, as far as everything else, I don't really have anything else. Like, we went through those pretty quick. Those
Yeah.
changes that are coming out.
Oh,
I know if you've heard
you
of it.
don't have to pay a fee for scheduled listings,
Yep.
and which I think that's nice because
Like if you go on vacation or I don't
yeah,
know.
and you could just instead of having drafts, you just set them to list, um, or like I've been like I do a whole bunch of listings one day. I haven't done this in a long time because I'm so
Mhm.
behind on everything, but I would do a whole bunch of listings one day and save some in draft so that I could post them the next day so that I'm always in the out, if I was busy the next day. Or like you said, vacation. Or like on
Mhm.
Shifters, they talked about like on the weekends,
Yeah,
so they're
they
always
were scheduling them for the weekend. I think maybe just, more people are online shopping on the weekends that they
yeah,
wanna.
and it keeps you up in the algorithm, I guess, and everything. I think it's a good idea, and now that they're not
Mhm.
charging you the 10 cents for it, you know, it's
Oh, and most recently, I don't know
I'll
if some
definitely
people
use
still
it.
don't know. Yeah, I think I might too. I'm such in the habit of going to a draft and just, like, listing it on some days where I just decide not to list.
Right.
So it'll be
Mhm.
something to get used to. But,
Yeah.
another change that has happened that I don't know if everyone's aware of is, what was it? Oh, they added more photos for your listings. I think it went from 12 to
Yeah, I've
24?
had 24 for a while. Did everybody get it
Yeah.
now? Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
have it
I
now
meant
too,
yeah. I had
but
it.
some people, like, on Facebook didn't even know about it.
Oh, so they didn't have it. Like I got it right away.
Mhm.
I got it
I've had
right
it for
away.
maybe a couple months now, but I know
Yeah,
some
so
people
I
might
yeah.
not be aware.
Okay.
I mean, you never know.
Yeah.
It's nice for things when you have, like, a big lot of stuff and wanna take a ton of pictures. I've maxed out the 24 pretty
Oh yeah.
easily.
And there's
So,
like sometimes where it's like you just needed like from the 12, you just needed like a couple more, just a couple more, you know? And I know people say, "Oh, use all 24." Don't use all 24 if you don't need to. That takes time and
you
effort.
have,
Like
like, a shirt, like,
I use as
you can only get
many
so many
as I
sides.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
use as many as you need, but don't make more work for yourself. Like I just take all the pictures that I think I need and then I use, and then I post the ones that, I look at them and, but I don't yeah, like a shirt, yeah, it only has so many size or like a video game,
Yeah, like, I
a,
mean,
a book,
so
front
each
and
side of the
back. I
case, open
right,
the
yeah,
case, take a picture of the
yeah,
manual and the disc, and it's like, that's
right,
it. That's all you got.
yeah. So don't you don't have to use all 24 because I've seen people on and they're like, oh, use all 24 all the time. I'm like, no, no, you use
Yeah, some
24
things
for everything.
you really just can't.
Yeah. No, but if
You
you
really
have like
just
a
can't.
big lot of something, or if you have something like that's like has a lot of detail on it, breakable, has a flaw, whatever, the 24 comes in really handy for that kind of stuff because then you can, you know, get all the pictures in that you need. I think 24 is a good amount. You have extra when you need them, and you know, of course, there's always the eBay listings you see, and it's like one picture. And it's not like it's like something that needs a few more. I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's like
why
actually,
is
I've
there
had that
just
happen to me where I'll make a draft, and for some
Mhm.
reason, my internet cut out or something
Oh,
was happening
okay.
with the eBay app where
Uh-huh.
it got rid of all the other photos. So I had to go
Oh
back,
no.
pull the item back out, and retake all the photos. I was so mad.
Oh yeah,
It was something that
cause
was a
I
pain to list too.
oh that sucks. Cause once I
Mhm.
get them up there, I delete them. I don't keep them. But
Sometimes I take the pictures through the app, like, I'll find the
okay,
listing and they'll take the
yeah,
pictures, and then as like, there was some issue as they were uploading that it only
okay,
uploaded the first one, and after
yeah.
that, it just was like, "Nope,
I don't usually
no
do
more
it through
photos."
that. Yeah. Mm.
And I'm looking at other seller or eBay changes, of course, they're trying to make, reducing unpaid items, so if you, like, accept an offer and get an
Yeah.
unpaid item, they're trying to make that a little bit better.
I've been
Um,
I've seen that more. When you get an offer or whatever and it says if you accept this offer, you're going to get paid right away, So,
you get the little
um,
green, like, check mark
yeah.
at the bottom.
And
Mhm.
I know like I've bought things and on offer and I'm pretty sure because I have payment method stored, so I'm sure I'm one of the ones that, if I give you an offer. I mean, I know it does because I didn't do anything about paying it, just paid when they.
Well, it's kinda weird because, like, me, I actually just bought something from, Grandma and Pop's Vintage from my last, or from our episode where we had talked about our reseller bucket list, and I'd mentioned the little cat, I
Yes.
don't know what it's called. Yeah,
Yeah.
they had told
Mhm.
me they had one, so I went and bought one from them. So I sent them. They told me to send an offer through eBay. I did, but
Mhm.
what it didn't have payment go through right away. It still had me manually go in and pay for it.
Oh,
So
really? Oh,
I
that's
didn't
weird.
have the option to pay right away, even though I
Oh,
went
weird.
in right when they accepted it and paid it. But it was just weird because like I don't know. I don't buy a ton from eBay, but when I do, it's always been like it's never been instant. Like as soon as they accept it, they're paid
Right.
for me. So
Huh. That's
still,
weird.
so I don't know how they're implementing that.
I don't know how they can't figure it out when, you know, other apps do. You know, if you offer on Macari or I think Posh too, right? Takes it right away if
I'm
they
not sure
accept
how
it.
Poshmark works.
I'm
I
pretty sure
had them, but
Macari does, yeah. I'm pretty sure I
um,
know Macari does though, right? It's silly. I just
Mercari, I
the
think.
only I think
I
Macari
just accepted
does.
an offer. Yeah, I think it.
Mhm.
Yeah, the payment goes through right away on Mercari because
Yeah.
I just accepted an offer
So if you make an offer,
yesterday.
they put a hold on your credit card or whatever. And
Yeah, and then
the only thing I can think about at eBay is it's so big and such a behemoth that their code is just so whack that it's just their programmers are just like, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like they're just patching things instead of like it just every time something and they have weird glitches, I just think in my head of how I I did a lot of I mean I know a lot of dead coding languages. I did coding back in college and stuff, and
mhm,
I just can't imagine what it looks like on their back end. It's just got to be a hot mess
it's yes.
with all
Especially
their
like with
glitches.
the app, sometimes
Hmm.
it hasn't happened to me in a while, but there was times where like the app would glitch out and it would like be in another language.
Oh, that's so
And so I'd have
funny.
to close up the app, open it back up, and then be fine. I'd be like, okay, it was it was weird.
So weird.
And I know it's
Oh,
happened to other people too because I've seen people post about it in some Facebook groups and whatnot.
yeah,
Another change, if any of you are members of, if you know RVA Flips, he used to be a reseller full time. He had a YouTube channel. Um, he had stopped reselling, but he had a Facebook group called like RVA Flips Reseller Water Cooler. And just recently he had posted on there that he is transferring ownership now to Lonnie and Candace of Shed Flips. So if any of you guys are in that group, they changed the name now. I think it's called like
yeah.
Shed Flips something.
I think it's
I'm in
like
it now, but
reseller water cooler.
yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
they changed the names a couple times that day
Oh,
because
did
I got
they?
two. Oh yeah, they did just call it Reseller Water Cooler. Um, but they seem to be adding a little bit more structure to the page because it's pretty dead for a few months.
Yeah, and as they
Like
said,
now they're
without any Facebook can get toxic real fast. So I yeah. So I'm sure that page was a hot mess before they took over.
oh yeah, I've gotten to a couple arguments with people on that page before too. Sadly, but it looks like now they're doing like a weekly like post your store below type page or
Yeah,
type of
that's
thread.
nice. Hmm.
And looks like there's still people asking, constructive questions on there, but I don't participate in the group as much anymore, at all, but it's nice to see some info on there if there's like a change like with eBay. Some people are having issues where they couldn't get on eBay like through their phone last week because people were talking about in the Discord like eBay was not working, like searches,
Yeah.
and people
Hmm.
on that page were also talking about it, but mine was fine. But another thing with
Yeah.
shed flips is Lonnie and Candace were both in their shed, both on the same internet, 2 different computers. Lonnie's computer was working, Candace's wasn't for
That's so
searches.
crazy.
And I'm like,
And you wonder why nobody you haven't had that many sales this week. I just, you know, like what are they
yeah,
doing?
I'm not
So
super concerned. I'm just
no, it'll
like
be fine. It's I swear, it's just it's whatever they're doing. Somebody, put an asterisk or they needed a comma. I don't know, and
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 they just made it
they're
where it's just
right, and they so I I gotta feel like they have a I don't know, like a test site they should be testing on before they go live with stuff that
yeah, I don't
hopefully
know.
it
I
messes,
mean,
but
it's
who knows?
whatever.
I don't know.
You'll get sorted out in a few days or something,
But
but
I've had in the past, like, I've searched for stuff and like my stuff and it doesn't come up and I know it should, like, because they have the same keyword, you know what I mean? So sometimes their search is, I mean, that's a weirder, different problem, but sometimes their search is a little off.
yeah, or even like searching within my own active listings if I'm looking for a specific item.
Right,
Sometimes I'll type like a keyword that's in the item title and it won't come up, so I have to think of a different keyword and like look for it.
right.
I can't remember what it happened for. I think it's for like a pair of boots or something. I ended up selling them
Hmm.
locally on Facebook Marketplace. So I went to go delist them off eBay, but like my first search would not work for them, so I had to look for
Right.
something else. But anyways, um how have your sales been this week then? We talked about mine, but how are yours?
They were okay up until a couple days ago. Like I said, today I have one. I don't think I got
Mhm.
any sitting here.
Actually, I've had a couple of Mercari sales lately.
I haven't cross
Um,
listed in a long time.
they're really insignificant ones. Like I had a little sheet of Rainbow Bright stickers. I sold those for like eight
Yeah.
bucks free shipping. But it's
Mm,
something. They were on
It's
Facebook or
it's
not on
bread.
Facebook on
It's
on
yeah.
eBay.
It's bread and butter. It adds up after a while. I know people that won't sell little things but I will. I'll sell stuff for you know cheap and make a few bucks off of it. Because some days I get that's all I get is once those little sales, but it adds up. It adds up. But yeah, they stink today. So once I get out of here, I am going to do some. I took a bunch of pictures yesterday, so I'm gonna list some more today.
I took a bunch the other day. I'm pretty much caught up. I have a few things that I've picked up that I haven't listed, like that cologne, but I just got it yesterday. Um,
Right,
I was hoping, so I was kind of going to go on a Goodwill strike for the rest of the week, like try
yeah,
not to go. I have really big fear of missing out. I'm like, I'm going to try hard to just take it easy and just like not
yeah.
leave the house and just
Mm-hmm.
don't go. But and I was hoping that my sales would, pick up so that way I kind of get some stuff moving out of here, but cuz I'm kind of feeling claustrophobic down here. I'm trying to think of ways to reduce inventory fast, like kind of just get the money and
Mm-hmm.
even if it means I don't get what I want for the item.
Mm-hmm.
Um but yeah, I can't do that if I'm not getting, offers and sales. So just kind of I guess wait.
Yeah, hopefully it picks up
Hopefully the weekend.
this weekend. It's a holiday weekend, so
Oh
hopefully
yeah,
people
I
are
forgot about
shopping.
that.
Yeah.
Is it President's Day? Is that what
President's
it
Day.
is?
Yeah. It's
So, will the post office
mattress
be
and
open on
furniture sales.
Monday?
No, they're closed on Monday.
Okay, so there we go. This will come out in time that people will know.
Yeah. Yep.
Monday.
Do not go on Monday. It will be closed. I think last year I went I stopped at the post office on President's Day. I wasn't thinking. And I was like, ugh. And so the post office I go to, it's not my actual zip code post office, but it's closer to me. And they're
Mhm.
nicer there. My zip code post office, the people are mean. So they and plus this one has the big box where you can put packages in. And they don't
I want one of
they let
those.
yeah. So that's awesome. But also like, sometimes I have something big, it doesn't fit in there. You can't fit it can be like one side about 12 inches, maybe, or maybe like a little longer, but it's not,
Mhm.
it's not wide enough for it. But rarely do I have something, but sometimes it's full too. So you can't get anything in there. But this post office, again, they're closer. They're like a mile and a half down the road. My actual post office is farther away. When you bring something, you can go over to the end and put it down. They don't, I went to my post office. Now, there used to be a lady that worked there, and she would just let you drop your stuff off. They don't have the bin.
Mhm.
So one time when I started reselling again, this time for real,
Mhm.
I went. There was a super long line because it was like holiday time. I got a bunch of packages in a bag. I'm like, I'm bypassing this line. I'm gonna go put it. And he's like, I'm like, can I drop these off? He's like, no, you got to wait in line. I said, but I already paid. I already
Mhm.
paid. You have to wait in line. I was like, well, then what's the point of paying at
Yeah.
home? If I can't, that's one of the things it says on there, don't wait in line at the post office. Pay for it at home. So I was like, well, and the only reason I went to my post office at times because I was out near there. So I was like, well, I'll go that one.
Mhm.
I haven't been back.
I don't get a
So
choice over where I live. We only have
yeah,
one. Luckily, it's only like I could walk there if I really
yeah.
had to,
hmm
but
Well, if I ever decide to get, I probably will, but a PO box, I'm just going to get it at the one near me. It's just weird how ours are divided and I'm farther away.
it's really weird actually with my PO box. It's actually even though it's in the town I live in, it actually has its own zip code. I don't know if that's common for PO boxes, but it has a different zip
Oh,
code.
that's
It's
weird.
really weird.
Huh.
It's in
I'm
there,
pretty
man. I'm
sure
telling
like
you, don't put
the
the normal one because it might get sent out to the wrong
oh
place.
that's
I'm like,
that's
oh,
that's weird.
okay.
Cause like so the one I go to, the one I go to is its own like separate like incorporated town, so it has its own zip code. But then so my address is the major city that's here, like my city,
Mhm.
but the city has because we don't like I don't live in an incorporated town or anything. So the city, everything there's lots of different zip codes, but we all put the same city, but you have different zip codes. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And I
Mhm.
don't live in the city, but
Actually, oh, that's
that's
weird.
my
Because I used to live in a bigger city, and there was like 5 different zip codes for that one
yeah,
city.
but I don't actually live in the city at
Like,
all.
not in city
There's
limits.
yeah, and there is more than one zip code in the actual city limits, but I don't even live in. Most of us
Hmm.
in the suburbs here have used the city, but have different zip codes. It's just because we don't have like a lot of like we're just suburbs, I guess, and not like little
Huh.
towns. I don't know. But anyway, that's all to say.
Well,
I hate the people at my post office now are mean, and I don't go there anymore. Find a nice post office where they let you drop stuff off. And sometimes like
the
I've
ladies
had
at
stuff
mine
and
are
they'll
so nice.
yeah, they're super nice at this one. And I don't it was funny after I after that happened to me and he yelled at me, I went online to and I wrote a little email to the postmaster there. And then I looked at review like Google reviews and that it was all what people said the same thing. I paid for, I do packages at home and they won't let you drop them off. And there's nowhere, there's no bin or anything. And all these
Mhm.
people are saying the same thing. So I wrote him, I said, look, I sell online, I pay online for my shipping. I said, but I said, I don't know why you guys need to find a way somewhere where we can put our packages. We don't have to stand in line. That's the other thing. I know people get them scanned in. I don't do that. Do you do that?
Mhm.
You scan them in when you
I
go?
used to.
Yeah, I
Not
don't do
anymore.
that. Yeah, I don't do that. And,
Mhm.
and knock on wood, I've never had a problem. But yeah, but here's what he says back to me. He was like, "We're sorry for." It was like you didn't even read it because it was like, "Sorry for your inconvenience. In order to not have to wait in line, you can pay for your packages at home." I did. I was like, "Thanks for reading my letter." So, uh,
The one here is actually has been pretty nice because I was having issues for a while. I love my post lady, but whenever she has a substitute, they
mm-hmm.
either it's usually there's another lady or there's a guy. Usually on the day that they're a substitute, they'll either my post lady comes every day around 2:30 or 3:30, like between
Yeah.
those times to pick up packages. If it's like
Mm-hmm.
a really crazy weather day, she usually won't get here till like 3:30, but usually she's here like 2:30 on the dot every day. Perfect. Whenever she has a substitute, they either come super early, like 8 or 9 in the morning, which I'm not even awake, to be honest
Yeah.
with you
I
right
wouldn't be
now,
either.
or they come super late, like 6:30 at night when it's already, like, dark outside here.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I put my box of packages and usually, my parents, their business is also, like, in the same area of town I live,
Mm-hmm.
so they usually get the post lady first because she usually stops by there pretty early on her route. And then though my mom will tell me like, "Oh, it's the normal lady today," or "Oh, it's a substitute." Um, One issue that I actually just had last week, which I meant to talk about, was I had put out my bin. I have a really like heavy duty. It's like one of those black bins with the yellow lids. It's like really heavy duty
Right.
bin.
Yeah.
I'll usually put it outside, but that day I had so many big packages that it was kind of overflowing. So I just like had left it outside, kind of overflowing. Um, And my mom had mentioned there was a substitute that day, and I'm like, "Okay, they're probably gonna come late." So I left it out. My husband gets home from work around 5:15, and he's like, "Oh, your packages haven't been picked up." I'm like, "I'm just gonna leave it out there in case they're running late, whatever."
Yeah.
Um, Turns out, the box stayed out there till, like, 7 o'clock at night, we decided to bring it in. Turns out one of the stray neighborhood cats came onto my porch and decided to spray the bin.
Oh.
I was so mad. It didn't get on
Oh
any of the
no.
packages,
Oh, that's so
luckily.
good.
It was just high enough that it just sprayed the bin, so I took the bin and I, like, scrubbed it down because my
Yeah.
cats were going nuts, but
Oh
I was so
no.
mad, and I was like, "I wanna complain," but I'm like, "It's whatever." I had a pickup scheduled too, but I'm like, "What if
Right.
they came at super early in the morning that I wasn't awake and they just thought I had nothing left out?"
Right.
So, it kinda sucks, so I have to deal with that, like, maybe once a week that my post
Yeah.
lady, for some reason, has a substitute. I think, she also works Saturdays because they also come out and deliver on Saturdays, and usually she's the one doing it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if, like, just 1 day a week she just has a substitute so she can have a day off. I don't know,
Right.
but that happened, and I'm like, "Okay, I need to kinda position the packages better so I can at least have the lid so if the cat does come back, it doesn't spray the packages and have me have to repack
Uh,
whatever is in there."
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I that was very close call. I was I
Oh, I'm
was
glad it didn't
I
get on
love
your packages.
we only saw it because we have cameras at our house, and I looked
Mhm.
on the cameras after 'cause I was like, "How did this happen?" And yeah, the cat just comes onto the porch, and it, like, disappears out of frame for a little bit, and then it runs back out, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh." So it probably smelled my cats on the bin,
Right.
decided to
Uh-huh.
spray, and it keeps coming back onto the porch, and I'm like, I I don't know what to do because 'cause I'm like, I don't care, as long as it doesn't destroy any packages,
Right.
whatever, but
Right.
oh,
That stinks. Ooh.
yeah,
Well,
so
yeah, literally and figuratively. Oh,
literally did.
man.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad,
Oh,
but
I've never done pickup because when I started doing this, our mailman had retired, and
mhm,
now it's like yours. There's just somebody different all the time. There's one gentleman that I see more regularly than the rest, but then he's not, I don't know. I don't trust it. And then I went when I changed all my shipping for the quarter, I went to 1 day shipping. And while I usually will like go down the night before and package everything up, sometimes I don't. So
yeah.
sometimes I get up and I'm like, okay, and then I just take it to there. Like it's not that far away, so I just do it.
The other day I did take packages. I think actually it was after that night where the cat had sprayed the bin. That next day I forgot, like, all the stress that was happening that day, I forgot to schedule a pickup for the next day.
Mm-hmm.
So I forgot, and I have until like 2 a.m. to schedule it for that day. Um, and I forgot, so I ended up taking all of those in, but it was a pain in the butt because I had a lot of big stuff that
Yeah.
day. But um, no, the ladies at my post office are really nice. There's this one main lady, and she's really good at what she does, and she's
Yeah.
always says hi. Or I haven't dealt with anyone super rude there, so
Yeah. No, mine are all nice. The only this post office I go to is one of the post office is one of the few that does. Well, I don't know. Do they all do it? I don't think they all do it. I don't think around here they all do it, but it's one of the ones that does passports. So sometimes there's
mhm.
just like where are all these people going? There's tons of people with
I was
passports
just
and
in
kids and
there and
everything,
like
man.
speaking of passports, I was just in there. There was one day I had to like actually go. All right, no, I had a package in my PO box, but it was too big, so I like held it in the back and put a little ticket in my
Yeah.
box to go to the counter. And there was
Mm-hmm.
this guy there and with his mom, and the post lady was like, "Yeah, you guys need a passport," because they were going to go to Mexico. And she's like, "Oh, well, you could walk or drive across the border." And the guy's like, "You can walk across the border?" And like a lot of people in the post office just started laughing because you can, but it's like he didn't know. And I'm
Right.
like, okay, it's a genuine question, but like a lot of people online just started laughing, and I just felt bad for him. I'm like, oh man, because like I've been there, and yeah, you can just walk across. It's a lot
Yeah.
easier than driving across because you're sitting in
But
traffic for hours. But
do you need a passport to get back in now
um,
from Mexico? I know. I think pretty sure you do from
I
Canada.
think it makes it easier. Last time I went, it was at the point where you could just bring your birth certificate
Yeah,
and
that's
you
the
were good.
last
But
time I went to
now,
Canada.
yeah, now I think you need a passport. Actually, my parents just went to Canada, and I'm pretty sure they had to use their passports.
Yeah, because I don't know if the last time we went we I think I said this before. My husband has a pilot's license, and we have a little plane. And
Mhm,
when a few years back, we took a day trip to Niagara Falls, just somewhere to go, but we couldn't
mhm.
go into can so we stayed on the U.S. side because I think at one point in time, I don't know if it's both ways now, you could go into Canada without your passport, but they wouldn't let you back in without one. Like you could go in with just your birth certificate or whatever.
Oh, so what
But you,
happens if you get stuck on that side without a
I don't know.
passport?
You gotta call
What are you
somebody.
supposed to do?
I don't know. Call the consulate or something. I don't know. Get
Oh
somebody to bring
man.
you your passport. I don't even have a. My passport's expired.
Yeah, I
But yeah,
think
there's
mine
always
is
people in there.
about to.
Yeah, there's always people in there. That's the only. That's like one of the reasons why the that post office line is always long. I'm just like, man, a
Mhm.
lot of people are going places. I'm not. What's going on?
Yeah, ours is that there. I remember getting mine done when we before we went to Costa Rica. We
Yeah.
got our passports done there, and like, okay, you'll get it in 60 to 90 days.
Mm-hmm.
And just about the 90-day mark, I think is when we
Yeah.
got our passports. It took forever.
Yeah. They. Well, when did you go? Not too long ago, right?
2015,
Oh wow.
I think.
That's long ago.
2016. Actually, it's probably 2016. Summer of 2016. So yeah, it was a
Mm.
while ago.
Yeah.
Um, I haven't had a reason to use my passport since then.
Yeah. I haven't gone anywhere. I want to, but I
Speaking
haven't.
of going somewhere, I'm so excited for Vegas. Like
Oh
every day I wake
yeah.
up, and that's just one thing to look forward to. I'm just really excited.
Lucky. Oh
Oh,
well. I am going away before that, but I won't go
yes, it'd be
soon.
nice.
So that sucks. But yeah, you'll have fun. I haven't been to
I know they
Vegas
talked
since
about
like the
doing
early
one of
2000s.
the highway sales, but I've never gone to one of those. But I'd like
Either have
to
I. They don't
know
have
the
them around here. I
details.
know somebody said something, and Kevin's like, we can plan something of a highway sale up there. I think it was like New Jersey Picker. And he was like, we don't have this up here. I was like, yeah, we don't. We just have like communities have
I think they're
garage sale.
talking about the one like, oh, where's I think it's near where Kevin lives. There's a big highway sale, but
Yeah,
here in
that one.
Nebraska there is one that goes like across the state, but I've never really gone to it just because I know it's really like commercialized and like
Right.
prices are
Yeah.
higher and it's like I don't want to waste my time.
Right. I know the
But for me the
120.
Vegas trip is like a vacation.
Yeah, that's your vacation. The 127 I know is a big one. And I think that's a mix of both, like cuz people have regular garage sales and stuff and some people are just resellers under a
It'd be
tent.
fun to it'd be fun to go to just experience one because of course
Right.
there'll be a ton of pickers, but
Right. As many pickers as there you always you still find stuff.
and actually I don't know if you saw the Discord I just put I had a garage sale dream
Ugh.
last night. Like I had a dream I went to a garage sale and it was just a huge sale, like tables and tables of stuff. And I was just like kind of speed walking, trying to find the good stuff really quick. Cause I knew that, try to find the good stuff. I'm like, dang, I really miss garage sales. I'm really looking forward to when it starts getting a little bit nicer.
We're getting it's going to be pretty soon.
I just really
It
look forward
was
to garage
it
sale
was like
season. But I'm trying to like get inventory out of here before then, but it's just
yeah.
between fear of missing out, between sales kind of being iffy the past couple days, stuff like that.
I have to get listing more. I have like a death pile from hell. I'm so bad. And then I was on a Max sold auction that's
Mhm.
that's here. Uh and they had some good stuff, so I was bidding on that yesterday. I was like, why am I bidding on this? I don't need anything.
I told myself I'd
I have
stop
so much
sourcing from
stuff.
whatnot, but there's this one guy that always lists stuff, and it's like decent stuff.
Yeah, you said it's real cheap and everything and
Yeah, like he sells stuff super cheap, and he's so nice. Like I'd like to just support his family or whatever, but
right.
I found some decent stuff. He's auctioning off like jewelry and pins and earrings and whatever. So I was there for a while. They said they're supposed to go live again on Saturday. But it's one of those auctions where they actually got called out for the pricing they had. They had like some vintage watch from like the early 1900s, like just the watch, not the band part.
Yeah.
And they're like, it goes for like 500 on eBay. I'll take like 250 for it. And then like there's other resellers there in the comments, and they look it up and they're like, "Oh, well, it last sold on eBay for 180. I'll give you $90." And they got really offended. And I was like, and I put in there, I'm like, just because it's listed for 500 doesn't mean it's gonna sell for 500.
Right.
This guy, I've caught this guy doing this before. He'll say that. I think just because he just maybe doesn't understand how eBay works with,
Right.
just because
Mhm.
it's listed for so much doesn't mean it
Right.
sells for that much.
Right. Mhm. Right. But yeah.
Anyways,
I've
but
never I've never sourced anything off of whatnot.
I was for a while, but then I kind of stopped. I found some good stuff, but it's not as good as like if I keep going to Goodwill and
Right.
find some stuff, because you have to worry about shipping. And I've bought some stuff on there that was bad buys. And when you're in the heat of the moment with auctions, you tend to spend a little bit more than you
Yep.
should, like
Yeah.
in real life.
And we were talking about that, in Discord, to get caught up. But there's also like people, talking about buying somebody. What did somebody say? They bought something from somebody, a T-shirt or something. They paid way too
Hmm.
much. But you get caught up, and people get caught up with like the YouTube famous people. Like, oh, I'm gonna
Oh
buy.
yeah, they were talking about Harry
Yeah,
Tornado with
yeah,
his
that's
whatnot
what it
auction.
was. Yeah.
Someone paid
Mhm.
so much for like a Pez dispenser that was like only worth $2. They paid like $12.
Yeah, but
It's also like the buying it from somebody these people. A lot of these people enjoy Harry Tornado,
yeah,
and
there's people on and like there's like vintage sellers on YouTube and now Whatnot. They use Whatnot, but it's the same thing. Like I'll watch their stuff, and there's a lot of people I don't watch anymore because like people are buying their stuff from them, and it's like, well, why are you paying that much for that? It's not worth that, you know. But I guess it's just to say they bought it from them. I don't know, you know.
I don't know. I haven't watched his auctions in a while, but when watched him frequently, I remember watching his shows and hoping to buy something, but his stuff just goes so high
Yeah,
that,
I don't have.
I'm just like, just gonna just gonna wait, I guess. Um, yeah, I don't watch many other Whatnot auctions other than that one guy's, like I said,
Yeah.
and I heard Dave in his video, I think he released today or yesterday, he talked about maybe doing one in early March. I was like, maybe I
Okay.
should do one to like kind of like as my fundraiser for Vegas, like my last push for like money
Right. Right.
before
Yeah. Some
going. So that way,
pocket
yeah.
money, gamble money.
So I don't
Oh,
know, might do
I
that.
where'd I put it? It's up there. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. I got my
Your Death Pal support pig.
no, but I got my
You
stretch.
reach,
Ugh, I'm gonna pull
reach out the
something.
pig.
I got my
Oh,
Delaware bear. I I gotta. I don't want to stand up. The
oh.
it stopped raining and it got brighter out and now the
Does it have a quarter on
um,
its foot, like the state
yeah, it's got
quarter?
the state
Oh,
quarter on its foot.
that's cute. I wonder if he got a
So
Nebraska bear.
I don't.
I didn't check.
I think. I don't think so because I think Grams and Pops were like he was like if you find that Nebraska bear, let me know. So
I think he said South Dakota because that's where they're from.
oh, they're in South Dakota. Never mind, it was South
Yeah.
Dakota.
Yep.
I don't know if he had
So I didn't
Nebraska,
check.
but yeah, I haven't bought anything off Whatnot.
I'll
I
see
have to
if I
stop
have
buying and
any.
start listing.
Yeah, I need to start selling because I have like no
I
room after all the stuff
know.
I've sold. I'm trying to see what I've
I have room. I
nothing
also
really to write home about with. Oh, actually, I found one. It was a pair of Burton snowboarding boots for men. Got them at
Mhm.
Goodwill for, I think it's like they charge $8.75 for boots.
Mhm.
Sold them within 24 hours or 48 hours for $60 plus shipping. And then I went to Goodwill again, and then I found hey, I just sold something.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
and then I found some kids versions of the snowboarding boots, and they also sell for about $50.
It's a good
And of
time to
course, I
do it.
paid I
People need
paid
it.
kids snow boot prices, so it's like $3.50 for kids
Oh
boots.
wow,
I think
yeah.
it's really cheap. Um, and then I also picked up an Under Armour. It's like a Carhartt style coat, but it's Under Armour. Picked that up for
Mhm.
like 8.75, and also got 55 for that. That's about it. Nothing super amazing. I sold that vintage sewing box. Speaking of, I should check the
Oh yeah, that
tracking.
was really nice. That was
Well,
cool.
here's what happened. Um, I was looking at the tracking. I sold it, and I swore I had put the proper shipping, but then I went to go ship it. It says buyer paid 8.55 for shipping, and I look and it was under like 1 pound priority to ship it, and I'm like, this thing weighs like 25 pounds.
Ooh.
And so I sold it for 55 plus the 8 something shipping,
Uh-huh.
and I look at shipping with USPS or yeah with USPS, and it's gonna cost like $50 to ship. So I messaged them. I'm like, hey, I'm like, I accidentally put the wrong shipping for this item. I'm like, would you be okay if I shipped it UPS? Because if I shipped it UPS, it was like $20. I
Right.
was like, at
Uh-huh.
least that way I'm still making money. But it's like, I'm like, would you be fine with UPS ground? And then they
Yeah.
messaged me back, oh, I'd be more than happy to pay the extra for shipping, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, no, don't worry about it. Like, it was my mistake, and I'm still, I'm making money off of it still.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But it did sell. So I was like, "Ooh, it sold fast," and I found out why. It's because the shipping was only $8. I'm like,
Oops.
"Oh, whatever. At least I still
It
made money.
always
I'm
it
not
always
negative with that one."
yeah. It's that those things happen. I've done it and It happens and you can move on. I've seen like people in like Facebook messages and stuff like, oh, I messed up the shipping and, they want to cancel or do that. I'm like, you got to eat it, like you got to
You
figure it
can
out.
take the hit, or you could do the right thing and just, give it to
Right.
them and learn from your mistake.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Be done with it.
And
I
I
mean,
mean, like, there's always a way. I mean, if you mess up on there, you probably, can ship it a different way. And at least it wasn't $50. It
I
was
was just
only
glad UPS was an
20.
option. So, and at
Yeah.
the time, that was when my car was still out of commission. Which, if you're in the Discord, you know about that whole thing. It's my
Yeah.
car's fine now, but I didn't have a car, so I just was like asked my husband, I'm like, "Hey, can you just go drop this off?" He's like, "Yeah." Like
Hmm.
I got the label, it was done.
Yeah. Hmm.
$20 compared to 50 with USPS. So that's my
Right.
second
Yeah.
time shipping with UPS. It
Yeah.
was shipping
I've
out that
done it
selling box.
a few times. I don't ship things usually that are that big, but when I
It
do, I
was
usually end up using them.
it was pretty big. I was like, this is gonna be a
Yeah.
pain, but
Hmm.
I already found those two little John Deere bullet pencils that already like one of
Oh
those
yeah.
already
Yeah.
covers the cost of the whole thing. I just gotta get
Right.
the
Yeah. Yeah.
um
Those
that
are
was exciting.
those were cool. It was funny that we had been talking about like pencils and pens
Pencils,
and
yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
And then I
And then
find
you
those,
found
yeah.
those. Yeah, those were
It
cool.
was super
Because those
cool.
are like people that collect pencils.
It's for a
Like
place here
John
that
Deere.
doesn't even exist anymore. It's like a
Yeah.
lumber yard that doesn't even
Hmm.
exist anymore
But
here.
that's
I
like
don't
a
know how
good
old those are, but
it's a good thing to find because it's well, so if it had the like lumberyard on it, so it's vintage advertising, right? That's one category.
mhm,
It's John Deere, people collect that, and pencils, people,
mhm.
collect that kind of stuff. It's like a triple.
So I lotted the two of them up into one lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine
Mm-hmm.
'cause Um, another thing that people might wanna look out for, I like to sell shoes. I found these LEI, Y2K stitched, they like little boots, tan, but they have, like, outside stitching where it's, like, thick.
Yeah.
Sold those for $30. Wasn't great, but I have sold LEI boots in the past. I sold one pair for 120. They were, like, very, um, Dansko clog looking shoes, but,
Mm-hmm.
like, had a platform on them.
Yeah.
They're super cool. Sold those, but LEI is a good brand to look out for because I don't even know if they make shoes anymore.
I
LEI,
was gonna say I've never even I don't think
but
I've
almost
seen
all of their
them.
shoes that I pick up, the Y2K tag works for them, and that seems to be what sells them because I feel like
Okay.
people are looking for that style again.
Yeah.
They're really cute.
I'm gonna look for shoes at garage sales. Ooh, I don't find good shoes at any
I know that's what you had mentioned.
stores around
Here,
here.
people seem to just go through shoes and
I feel like they're overpriced and they always look like they're trash to me. Like I don't know, maybe I'm too picky, but I look at them, I'm like, oh, I wouldn't wear that.
it's good to be
So
picky though, because I used to pick up
yeah,
shoes in like any condition, like, oh, I could clean them up, but now it's like it's just not worth my time.
yeah. No, I mean, if they were gonna go, if I had to do like some minimal cleaning, I'm fine with that. A little bit of magic eraser or whatever, but
I pick
usually
up
like
stuff with like mud caked on them. I'm like, okay, I gotta throw them through the wash and magic erase them. Then I'd have to do
I
like a whitening treatment on them, let them sit outside.
yeah, I wouldn't do
No,
all.
it's just
Did you ever watch the Nurse Flipper? This was like a
I
year.
used
She
to, but
yeah,
not anymore.
I don't watch her that much anymore, but they
Mhm.
she once sold a pair. I don't know what they were. They might have been those. What's the ones with the toes?
Oh, with the separate toes in them. They're
Yeah,
like
what are
water
the
shoes. I don't know what they're
Vibrams or
called.
something? Vibrams. It might have been
Okay.
Vibrams, but it might have been something else. But they were like an expensive pair of shoe. They were caked in mud. She didn't even clean them. She sold them like that, and they paid. I was like, she's
Wow.
like, I don't clean
I
anything. I was like,
remember in
I
some of the
can't.
videos of hers that I've watched, she
Mhm.
mentioned uh, that she doesn't clean her shoes that she sells.
I that I mean, I get like not scrub, but I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that with all the mud. I couldn't do that. That's just me. But I no, I wouldn't.
I
But
feel
I
bad
don't.
putting
But
stuff with just a little bit, like, even, like, gum stuck on the bottom of the shoe. I
yeah,
feel
I
bad, like,
know.
listening. I don't know.
I
But,
know.
I mean, if you still make money.
I've sold shoes. The shoes I sell, my mom is older, and she buys shoes, and they hurt her feet, and she gives them to me. My mom goes, she's like, I can't. I bought these, but I don't like them.
Mhm,
So like, but they're like all brand. They're practically brand new. I mean, I don't sell them brand new, but she wore them like in the house once and decided
mhm.
that she didn't like them or something. But she always buys like decently named brand stuff. So that's mostly what I've sold in shoes. I sold a pair of like garden clogs once that I bought at a store.
They
I
were,
can't remember what they're.
sloggers, were they?
Yeah, maybe yes. That sounds
I've
yeah,
sold a couple pairs of those.
yeah.
They
And
look
I
kinda
bought
like
them.
Dansko, but they're, like, a little more decorative on the outside.
They were just plain. They were just like a
Oh.
purplishy blue, and they were plain, and they weren't worn very much, and
Mhm.
they were cheap. They were like under $5, I think. So I bought them, and I sold them pretty quick.
I
Not
sold
for
one
big
pair that
money or
had
anything.
little, dog prints all over them. They were blue
Yeah.
with light blue dog prints, or I also
Mhm.
had one that was a new pair. They were yellow with, like, leaves all over them, like a
Yeah,
fall pattern.
these were just plain, but they
Mhm.
sold pretty quick. But yeah, I can see they probably have patterns.
The one
I
pair
this
I
was
had
Yeah.
sold and canceled, like, 3 different times, so that pair of shoes is, like, cursed, like, I could not get rid of them.
Oh
So
man.
kinda, like, I've come across them at Goodwill a couple times, but unless they're in amazing condition, I don't
Yeah.
pick them up anymore. Because it's just, like, it's usually a $15 to $20 pair of shoes.
Yeah. This reminds me that I
So
have like a couple pair of Vans like that are my son didn't trash because he decided they were too tight. Like we got them, and I think his foot just grew like right
mhm.
around the same time. So they're not trash. They're still like new. I gotta sell them because he trashes shoes. I don't know.
So does my
Everybody.
husband. I buy him nice shoes, but he just, like, wears them to mow the lawn, and
My
he had this
husband
really nice
trashes.
pairs, like, of suede black all black Nikes, super nice. I found them
Hmm.
at Goodwill, and I'm like, "These
Yeah.
are," like, I coulda sold them, I think, for, like, 80 or 90, but I told him, like, "They're your size, if you want them, have them."
Yeah.
Because he likes the
Uh
Nike
huh.
high tops.
Yeah.
Well, when it snowed really bad one day and we had ice, he decided to use them to go outside to put, salt all over, and just the
Yeah.
salt just
Got
landed on his
salt
shoes
all
and, like,
over.
made him, like, yeah, I'm like, "Oh," like, "Okay,
Don't give him
whatever,
good
whatever."
shoes anymore.
Like, I paid, like, $8 for them, I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
But you were saying about your husband?
Oh, he trashes shoes too, but I don't worry about him. He's you don't find his size. He wears like 14, so I
Wow.
don't I don't find his size
The
often. And
biggest
my son
shoe I
doesn't.
have found is, like, 16. I found one
Wow.
pair of size 16s. I was like, "Wow, that's."
The thing is, too, is that's like we don't even like he usually orders his shoes because even
Mhm.
though like stores are now carrying up to 14, like they didn't used to. He used to wear 13s, and when we went, and I always told him, I said, I think these shoes are too small for you. He was like, well, what am I going to do? This is like big as I can
Mhm.
get. And they opened a DSW, and we
Uh-huh.
went one day and they had a pair of boots that were 14s, and he tried them on and he was like, oh my God, these feel so good. I'm like, yeah, because you're wearing too small shoes for all of your life. So, but now it's so much easier to get those sizes because you can order them the bigger
It
size.
seems to be
But
a lot more common to get them.
yeah, but I don't. I bet my feeling is if they have those larger sizes out, like at a thrift store or something, that they probably go pretty fast. Like if I saw a decent pair of shoes in like a 14 or higher, I'd probably buy it if it was a decent price, just because I think it would
Mhm.
sell.
Oh,
Sell.
for sure.
Hmm.
Some reseller I used to watch or have watched did say that, like, weird sizes of shoes, like,
Yeah.
showed
Hmm.
them up.
Well, and I saw something. Somebody, they sold. They said, if you just have one shoe, just sell one shoe because people that are
I've
amputees and
never
stuff.
done that. I
Yeah, I
mean,
haven't either,
I've
but
heard good
makes
things and
sense.
bad things, like, sometimes they might sit for a while.
Yeah, they probably will. But I guess if you have like something nice and decent and you have room for it, I mean, it can't hurt. And, there
Mhm.
are people that are amputees that don't wear, that might not wear a prosthetic or they can't or whatever. And so they just have the need for one shoe.
Mhm. You
So,
never know.
yeah.
And since we're on shoe talk, another brand of shoes that also has sold really well for me in the past, but they are getting harder to find. Osiris shoes.
Never heard of
Skate
them.
shoes. They're like high top. My sister and I used to wear them like when we were younger. But actually I found um my mom found one of my old pairs of them and I sold those for quite a bit. I also found a men's pair at a garage sale last summer and I sold those for like 80 or 90. They were like barely even worn. Not a great color scheme. I mean, they were just like basic blue, black, and gray. But if
Yeah.
you find some, they have like some special edition ones where there's like paint splatters or skulls
Yeah.
or because
Yeah, I'm
I
looking
think you
at
were
some now.
used to be able to customize them, but yeah, those sell well.
Huh. I never heard of those.
Mhm. They were a big thing here. They're a lot like high top Nikes, I guess. They're
Right.
a
Uh-huh.
fat shoe, like
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
or trying to think of what other brand. I think there's like DC's. I think those were also similar
Okay, I've heard of those. Yeah.
shoes. Yeah. Um. Yep. If you find any shoes like my platforms that I wear, usually there's brand like there's like Demonia, Killstar. If you
Mm-hmm.
ever find any type of gothic platform boots, those are
Mm-hmm.
big money if you
They'll,
find those.
they'll,
Some people do
yeah.
find them. I know Goodwill in like California. I know that Demonia, they're based out of California.
Mm-hmm.
They will donate like their surplus to Goodwill and then
Oh,
Goodwill will
yeah.
put them out in California around Halloween time and sell them like
Oh,
really cheap.
that's
So
awesome
I'm like,
for.
that I wish I lived in California because I would go buy it all up and resell them because they, because
Yeah.
they're expensive shoes. A lot of mine are over $100. Like
Yeah.
they're
Mm-hmm.
expensive. So
Yeah.
those are ones to look out for. And if
I'm
anyone's on the
tired.
Discord and finds any, send me a picture and I'll tell you if they're good or not. um, I doubt I'll
Yeah.
ever find any here. That they're just you don't find people here that wear those very often.
I don't. Like I said, I don't know where the good shoes go, but they don't go to the thrift stores around here. And even
Maybe they all go to the bins.
I shouldn't say that. It's a for profit thrift store. It
Mhm.
might be a. I think when I buy from it, it's not called Village here, but I think they're associated. I think it says Value Village on my credit card when I buy from
Mhm.
them. But they'll have some decent shoes, but they don't have. They price them up. That's actually where I got those sluggers from, and they were cheap. I don't
Mhm.
know. I guess just because they didn't think anybody was going to buy them. But like a ratty old pair of Converse for like $13. I'm like, no. I mean, I have that in my closet. I wouldn't pay for $13 for.
I saw a picture earlier today where someone went to a thrift store and they had a pair of Brooks. They were charging $80 for a pair of Brooks.
Mm,
And I'm like, I don't even think you can resell them for that much. There's some
I
pairs you can,
know.
but this was
Right.
like maybe a pair that was maybe $60, maybe.
Right. They saw the name and they just slapped it on there. They didn't look
Yep.
into it.
My thrift store, they used to put everything out on the shoe racks, like every kind
Mhm.
of shoe, so I could find new shoes.
Yeah.
But now they got a little bit smarter, and now they put the new shoes on the rack behind the counter. But I still
Yeah.
find decent ones. Like some people, you could tell when they get a new person because like sometimes I'll find Doc Martens or some brands that are just
Right.
good.
Yeah,
I
nice
picked up
brand.
another really good pair of shoes, but I can't remember what brand they were or anything like that. But anyways, I
Yeah,
don't know if you had anything else to add.
as much as I like shoes, I wish I could find more here.
I'd love
I
to be just
don't.
a shoe reseller because it'd just be super easy. Just throw them all in a shoebox, store them that way, and then once
Oh, I
one
know.
sells, pull it out
Yeah,
and like.
I know. You just, like I couldn't be one, not here.
Mhm.
Like, cause I just don't find
If
them.
I lived closer to the bins, I probably could be, but 2 hours is a little too far.
Yeah, I still haven't gone to the bins that are near me. I went to the other bins that were in Pennsylvania near me,
Mhm.
and that was. I never found any shoes in there, man. There was a pair of boots in there once. I don't know what somebody did with them, but shoo, did they the whole place stunk because of them. I was like,
Oh,
oh,
man.
somebody had some rotten. Somebody needs some odor eaters. But yeah, I haven't. Yeah, I I keep telling myself I'm going to go to the bins, but I have too much stuff to list. Too much stuff to list. Once I get it, if I get it
Yeah,
listed,
the
if I
bins is
get
like a rabbit hole you fall down because 'cause you'll come home with, like, a
yeah,
big garbage bag full of stuff, and
yeah, I got to get my desk piled down to manageable small. It's got to go down.
small steps,
And I have
small steps.
yep. But yeah, so that's all I got.
Alright. Yeah, that's all I've got.
Welcome to shoe. Thank you for coming to our shoe talk. So.
Yeah, shoe talk. It was, some eBay changes and then talk about
Yeah,
shoes.
yeah.
That might be how it is sometime. It could be, it could be worse. It could be like a trash to cash podcast, and we could be talking about poop.
Nope.
You know? No, we talk about shoes.
Shoes. Awesome. All right.
Alright. Well, I
So,
hope y'all have a good week. Remember,
yep.
Monday's a holiday, so you can't ship out
Yep.
on Monday.
No post office. You get an extra day this weekend to ship. I always like that. So Sunday,
Handleless.
I'm
Handleless.
like, oh yeah, I don't have to ship tomorrow. And then I wake up Tuesday morning and have to pack everything. But yeah, so
Alright.
I hope
Alright.
everybody's sales go up this weekend.
Yes. Fingers
See ya.
crossed. Bye.
Bye.